Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts. In each episode, I am joined by some of the best financial advisors, real estate minds, e-commerce minds, and wealth advisors in the world where they share their ideas, deals, stories, and inspiration so together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. I'm excited about our next guest. He's a tech serial entrepreneur who has built and sold 2 seven-figure companies and the host of the Next Big Pivot podcast. He also has a film production company, a new movie coming out soon, and he previously worked in financial services and was a professional salsa dancer. His new company, the Fiesta app, which is TikTok for podcasts, integrates with Alexa and Google Home. He's currently focused on growing it in content marketing and voice. And we're going to dive into a little bit about his entrepreneurial background and how he sold his company on this mini episode. And then we're going to get the full episode here coming up here shortly. So with that, please welcome to the show, Bernardo de la Vega. Bernardo, how are you, sir?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. Thank you for that intro.
Excellent. Well, give our listeners a little bit more about your story and your current focus.
Yeah. So I used to work in financial service consulting. I didn't want to do that anymore. I got into internet marketing, was running Facebook ads and Google ads for people. Then I had a friend who said, "Hey, you're really good at this. Why don't you start your own company?" So then I started my e-commerce companies, and because he said you can private label products. So I started my first e-commerce company, which was a beauty company. I had that for 4.5 years. I sold that at the end of 2018. When I was already thinking of selling that one, I launched this another one, which was a food, media, and kitchen appliance company. So both of those I built and sold both of those companies, and it's been a very exciting a ride. And since last year I started working on this tech company. I would say e-commerce is quite fun and there's a lot of things to it, but definitely tech is a lot more exciting. So now have fully transitioned from an e-commerce entrepreneur to like a completely tech entrepreneur, and definitely plan to like stay on the sort of like tech side, which is just there's so much more things to do, and you can just pivot, and it's just a lot more exciting. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I can't wait to dive into that in the full episode. In the meantime, though, I'm curious. You sold 2 seven-figure companies,
Right.
And when you did sell those, part of our podcast and our listeners, they're looking for creative ways to defer capital gains tax and continue to grow their wealth. So, what was
Mm-hmm.
the biggest frustration that maybe you faced when you sold those 2 companies as it pertains to capital gains tax?
Yeah, so at least this is the way I handle it, and a lot of times I was advised by my accountant, like, do this. So I followed the lead. I would say I'm definitely more the sort of like a marketing strategy entrepreneur, and not so much of the sort of like those looking at like, okay, sort of like what do we do on the sort of the tax side. But when I sold my first company, I had already started my food, media, and kitchen appliance company. And at the beginning, we had a loss in the first few months for the kitchen appliance company because we went all in. And I said, I'm going to build the next $100 million company. And what that entailed was really go deep in terms of product development, but also building an app. So, and which was definitely not cheap, because we had all these different sort of components to it. And then we also, created massive amount of content and videos for that kitchen appliance company. So before we even started selling the first product, we created this whole massive infrastructure. So because of that, we had a loss there, and therefore when I sold my first company, I could offset it with some of the losses from my new company. So from a sales tax perspective, that's what we did, and that worked out pretty well. Which was like I said, basically just start another company. And with again, you definitely want to start companies that are profitable. I just said, okay, let's grow this company really, really big. And I didn't kind of like tiptoe into it. I went all in on the second company, also because I knew that also if I did that, even if I had losses, I could offset the gains from the sale of the first company, which was pretty much about to close. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So you had some good planning there, and it sounds like you sold the first company and started the new company
Right.
and really invested heavily in that new company, and were able to kind of wash out that expense versus that gain. And so
Exactly. Yep.
fantastic. Yeah, that's very smart. And doing that planning and making sure you're working with a professional to guide you through that is super important. I call that having the dream team, right? You want to focus on your niche, and you want to grow your company, and then have the dream team of professionals who are the tax professionals, maybe the financial advisors, although you're already in the financial services industry too, and then having maybe commercial real estate, experts to help you on that side of things as well. So fantastic. And Bernardo, for those who want to get in touch with you, and we're going to dive into the full story with Bernardo here on the full episode. But in the meantime, if they want to get in touch with you right now and learn more about this, I mean, it sounds like pretty amazing. The TikTok for podcasting, right? Where can they meet with you or connect?
Yeah. So I'm obviously very have a pretty good presence on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn DMs would be the best place. And of course, the website for Fiesta, which is fiesta.app. Those would be the best places.
Perfect. Fiesta.app. Excellent. With that, thanks everyone for listening. And by the way, if we can help you with any of your capital gains tax deferral options or clarification on the sale of a business, primary home investment real estate, public stock, private stock, reach out to us here at capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate everybody.